We will introduce to you how to assemble the rotator evaporator. To understand the working mechanism of this instrument, we will start from the right hand side. Your liquid will be installed here. When it working, this one was with rotating, and liquid film will be formed following the flash rotator, and with the heat to be transferred from liquid into the gas phase. Then the gas phase will be going through this trap. This trap, the function is to help to forbid the reverse back of the solution directly to your evaporator bottle, and you will got time to handle it. Then the liquid will be trapped in here. This one will allow the gas to pass through this tube to here. When the gas pass to here, there's no other escape way, either from the bottom or from the side. The gas have to force to go to top because the vacuum was sucking from the top. So when the gas phase transfer from the bottom to the top, the condenser will be cooling it down from the gas phase into the liquid phase and dropping into the receivers. So to use the evaporator, the most important is you need to select a good vacuum and the temperature that suits for your solution evaporation. And there is a valve. This valve can use to adjust the vacuum pressure inside. If you open it into vertical, the gas will going in, then the vacuum will be higher. If you fully close it, the vacuum will become lower. There's two principles you must be follow strictly. First is you cannot heat when the solution was stay without rotator, because overheat of the single point of the solution will lead to flushing. When you heat it without rotating, there's too many solution was being heated. Then when you start to rotate it, and lot of steam will be generated immediately, and the space will not enough for the steam to go in step by step. Then the gas will carry the liquid and flush it into the receivers. So the most important part is you need to keep your fully clean. If anything emergency happen, you still can recycle your solution back evaporator flask. Otherwise, when this kind of thing happens, you will lost your sample here. This is the first you must follow. No rotator, no heating, and heat temperature must strictly follow the inquiry of the sample. Don't be too high. Another thing is you cannot rotate the flask without giving the vacuum, because only when the vacuum was giving, the whole system was sucking strongly. Otherwise, without giving the vacuum, when you start to rotating, your flask may be dropping in your heating bath. This is the two principles that you must follow. Here we will start to use rotator evaporator. When you use, you need to give cooling water first. First give cooling water. The cooling water will go in from the bottom and out from the top. Then the full of the coil will be filled with cooling water. This cooling water best is provided from chiller with a lower temperature. If you don't have a chiller, you can use a piping water, but you must provide the water from the bottom to the top. You can install the tube that we are provided. Second is you connect your vacuum tube to your pump. We recommend you use a water type vacuum pump. That any solution going into your pump, you can change the fluid frequently to protect your pump. This kind of then if you use chloroform or hexane or other organic solvent, it may make your structure inside expand and lost the function. So the best way is use a water fluid vacuum pump, then you can last longer. This is you finish your connection. Then when you start to use, you give the cooling water first. You make sure the cooling water is undergoing and it's highly efficient, because without efficient cooling water and too many gas will stuck inside, and it will either going into the pump or going into your lab and come to your own body. That is highly risk for operator. So the cooling system must gain first. When your cooling water is ready and the vacuum is connected properly, at this moment you can start to turn on your vacuum pump, adjust the vacuum valve, give a slightly small vacuum to protect your flush. At this moment, if you have a flush holder, you hold both here and here properly. If you don't have, you can hold it manually by your hand assistance. When it has some vacuum, you don't need to worry about it. At the beginning, you can let your flush at a higher position, and at this moment, when your vacuum is provided, turn on your rotator evaporator, give a small speed. At this moment, you can slowly let your solution soak into your water, and now your film start to fill, and you can adjust the vacuum to let it fully vacuum. Then your rotator evaporator is ready to be heated. At this moment, you can turn on your heating power, heat it, and set the temperature to your target temperature. Click send, use the up and down key to increase and decrease temperature. Click send again to confirm the setting. Then your temperature will send, follow your inquiry. After you finish the using, and you can switch off the heat first, then lift your flush higher, stop the rotating, and slowly release the vacuum. At this moment, you need another hand to hold your flush properly and release your vacuum, and you can turn off your pump and take your flush down to collect your product inside the flush. At this moment, you can put your waste solution either by recycle or by dropping it to the waste bottle. Then can turn off the power to finish the application. High and close this one. You can rotate this screw. When it starts to release, you clip it. You can take the bottom. When you lift it up, you can hold the bottle. This condenser can rotate, but you don't do that. They designed for protect the system.